Hello world, welcome back. Yeah, very excited today. We're going to be unboxing the third series of Final Girl. And apparently I have started to bore the cats because they're walking away. But yeah, let's just dive into this. I have a lot to go through. Just a heads up, I'm going to be going through all of the content within the Ultimate Box, so like feature films and such, showing off all the minis. Not going to go into the cards at all for spoil. Whoa, hi there. Hi, Lily. Getting your moment in the spotlight. But yeah, not going to go through the cards. I will go through the Final Girls and such, some of the rules, look at the tokens. Mystery boxes, I'll do in a separate video just for anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled on those. But yeah, let's dive into it. Excited for this. So yeah, I got into Final Girl a little bit before the Series 3 Kickstarter ran, so. And that was October of 23. So, been waiting for this one. Should be a good time. I don't remember a lot of what the different final films are. Not final films, feature films are. So, get to experience some of this new again. As I try not to cut my finger off. Probably should not have held the scissors that way. Very well taped box. If I was smart, I would cut this part out, but this is the first video I've made in a while. So. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? So yeah, mystery boxes I will put to the side, so we don't have to worry about spoilers with that. We have some replacement Falconwood Files tokens. I'll discuss that a little bit later, if I remember. What else do we have in here? Let's just get this out. Oh, that is weird. There is only one mystery box. That is unexpected. Might have to contact them about that. Something on bubble wrap. There's supposed to be 3 different mystery boxes. Yeah. So, wonder what's going on with that. Okay. So yeah, the Ultimate Box for Final Girl Series 3. So you can see the different Final Girls on here. The 5 main villains. The box on this side, you can see, so the killers are the Hunter, Razorface, Slayer, the Tormentor, the Eyeless, and Terror from Destiny. In the locations Sunny Days Mall, Hellscape, Falconwood, there's a cat running over there, Merrick Warehouse, which is where, when they shipped these out, it said that's where they came from, and Utopia. On the side, we have one of the Final Girls. I'm not sure who. On the side, we have the Tormentor. I know that one. I'm going to turn this over to the back. Final Girl Series 3. Even more horror awaits. This massive box contains the special effects crate, guest stars, and the Series 3 collection of final film boxes for the critically acclaimed solo game Final Girl. My hat is slightly sideways. Nope, that's turning it the wrong way. There we go. My hair inside is completely messed up, but yeah. Also included inside are the miniatures and bonus content for Series 3, such as the Lauren scenario and gruesome death books. That's miniatures included, killers, girls, minions, and vehicles. So yeah, so we have 5 feature films: Killer from Tomorrow, Hell to Pay, Falconwood Files, The Merrick Murderers Don't Make a Sound, Vignette Terror from Destiny, Series 3 cast and crew box, special effects crate, bonus features, vehicle miniatures, regular miniatures, vignette miniatures, gruesome death books, lore and scenario. So yeah, let's get this opened up. See what is inside. I'm so excited. Toss this over here and inevitably get yelled at about that later if I forget about it. Yep. Yeah, so this is just a thing, this slides off, and then we can just see the artwork by itself, without the words. I need to find a good place to put this, just because, yeah, so the thing that I have Series 1 and 2 I have next to each other, but the dresser is not big enough for a third. Let's take the lid off. Put that off to the side. And yeah, here we go. So let's just go left to right. Here we have some foam. This is where, so this is normally what Series 1, the core box went there. Series 2 had the box of props. Here, now it's just become a spot for special film. Or special featured film. At the moment, the only one we have is the North Pole Nightmare, but there is Shriek coming out this summer. So yeah, we got some foam. Who doesn't like foam? And let's start with the kill. Okay. I'm just going to remove the wrap from all of these. And then I'll move that aside. I'm actually going to pause the video here just because you really don't need to see me unwrapping these. But yeah, I'll be right back. And there we go. Everything is unwrapped, which means I don't think I need these scissors anymore. Yeah. So let's put this aside and start going through the individual things. Put that over here, I guess. And we're just going left to right, so let's start with The Killer from Tomorrow. Shop till you drop at Sunnydale Mall. How can you defeat a killer robot from the future? How about two? That's just what is in store for you on this fateful day at the mall. The Hunter, or Hunter, is looking for a teenage kid known as the Savior. First, you'll have to deal with the Mark 5 model, then the Mark X model, or Mark 10. Sunny Days Mall is a state-of-the-art facility with a shop for just about anything you can think of. Plus, it has 2 levels and a food court in the middle of everything. This is the first multi-level one we've had. Just be careful not to stand too close to the railing. You wouldn't want to fall. So this is inspired by the Terminator movies. So let's take a look. So on this side we have the Hunter. Yeah, her level starts at 5, 15 health. This seems pretty standard overall. Mark 5 Ally. This is the first movie to come with ally cards. So I don't entirely know how those are used yet. We'll find out. We have a little rules thing. Let's take a look at what we got in here. So we have some action cubes and the Mark 10 meeple. Nice shiny silvery meeple. A little bit reflective, not just because of the light. Try that. have these cards, which I'm not going to look through with the exception of... Let me get the Final Girl card out, wherever that is. Oh, so there's the two Final Girls, so are both of them on this side? Dark Powers, that... okay. Yep, both the Final Girls on this side. For some reason I thought one of them came with the other side. Alright. Put the epic finale in here. Yeah, so for the two Final Girls, we have Kat and Tali. Yeah, so Tali, 6 health, need to save 4 victims to unlock her ultimate. When this card is flipped, immediately take a reaction card into your hand. All reaction cards now cost 1 time less. That's interesting. For each additional victim saved, recover 1 health. And then for Kat, 4 health. I haven't tried a 4 health Final Girl yet, I'm afraid. With so little health. Save 6 victims. And that, flip it over. When you inflict damage to an enemy with a gun, do an additional 2 damage. Ooh, that is powerful. For each additional victim saved, plus 1 time. Additional 2 damage. That is really strong. Reminds me of... Oh, why am I blanking on her name? Is it Laura? Lori? One of those two. Someone in the Camp Happy Trails box where it's just always plus 1 damage. But yeah, so stronger, but you do need a gun. So those are the 2 Final Girls in this set. Them back in here for now. This card is like just thick enough, so I guess we'll take out the epic finale card. Just don't stretch that out. Or don't put that back yet, because the token's going to be... What do we have for tokens? 18 various tokens. That is a bit vague. Put those off briefly. And then, okay, for minis, we have the Mark V. It's everyone's favorite game. Can we get the camera to focus? Oh, got it a little bit. There we go. Very tall, very long legs. And with a long gun. That's the Mark V. And then the Mark X, which is armed with an actual arm. Standing on the corpse of the Mark V. Didn't get a look at what that weapon was. It's... Oh, no, that's not a weapon. Their arm is part blade. Reminds me of the... What was the one in T3? Was it the TX or something? Can't remember. Haven't seen that one in a while. Not as memorable as the first 2 Terminator movies. Okay, The Hunter. Directed by Evan Derrick, director of photography Tyler Johnson. I knew the guy was bad news the moment I saw him. Over 6 foot tall, face hidden by that hoodie, big bulge underneath his jacket. I tried to stop him, but he just shoved me aside like I was made of cotton. I took the hint and I was out of there. I'm just a mole cop, for crying out loud. They don't pay me enough for this kind of shirt. Bart Stanislawski, mole cop, Sunny Days Mall. Okay, so let's take a look at these rules a little bit. Place the 2 countdown tokens. I guess that's what these are. Countdown tokens. On the back of the finale card, then randomly choose 3 cybernetic part tokens. Okay, that's these ones. So those are... these are a certain amount of health. 3 health, 2 health, 1 health, or no health. Without looking at them, place them face down on top of the countdown tokens. should be a stack of 5 tokens on the back of the finale card. Some optional setup. Set aside the Mark 10 terror card. What is that? Oh, terror card. I haven't looked at those yet. Build the terror deck, then take the bottom 2 cards of the terror deck, shuffle them with the Mark 10 terror card, and place the 3 cards on the bottom of the terror deck. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to summarize these a little bit. Yeah, brief pause while I read through this. Okay, yeah, so this seems like a pretty interesting one. So I guess some of the basics. Yeah, yeah, starts out as the Mark V with these various cybernetic tokens on it. Each of them takes 2 damage to remove. Yeah, it takes 2 damage to remove. Once they're all gone, then the Mark V is defeated. So you have a little bit of a breather with the countdown tokens until the Mark 10 comes into play. Since the Mark V is specifically hunting after you, Bloodlust doesn't rise when it kills just innocent victims, although as far as I can tell, it will still target innocent victims. It just doesn't get a bonus from that. Bloodlust rises when it damages you or when it gets damaged, and that's to represent like it getting smarter. So once it has been, I just hit myself with my sweatshirt. Once it has been fully defeated, then yeah, you have the option to repair it by going and picking up the cybernetic parts again. And yeah, once you repair it, then it becomes an ally, which is a very interesting thing. That's the first time the game has had that. Yeah, so allies have different actions that they can take, which are done by these cubes. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting mechanic. I look forward to seeing how that works. And then we also have the Mark 10, who comes into play at the end of the game. Once that's the very end of the terror deck comes into play, and you get a new setup card to determine that. And yeah, I don't know how differently the Mark 10 plays from the Mark 5, but yeah, should be interesting. The ally thing, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. I feel like I'm just breezing over this a little bit because I don't want to go too into detail just because I don't want to spoil too many things, but yeah. So that is the Hunter. So hopefully this unboxing video is okay. I didn't really see how the last one turned out, but yeah. So with that, go back in. Okay, those cards, token, that. The ally card, rules. Not sure where to put this. Sure, we'll put that there for now. Now let's flip things over to the Sunny Days Mall, not Sunnydale. That's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So we have another ally card, the Savior. So I guess that behaves similarly. That's a word. And what do we have here? Yeah, so we have our tokens. I don't know what those are. Show the tokens off. Got some banana peels. Lily enjoying the box over there. We got some action cubes and a trust marker. There's a trust card somewhere in here. Oh, we have a new action card. Build trust. We have some savior action, or yeah, some savior cards. And a trust card. So, don't want to look at those too much. For minis, we have a chopper. Just motorcycle. Kind of cool. That is long. What did I expect? And then we have the Savior, who is pointing at the air for some reason. Not entirely sure why. So, brief pause while I look through the rules for this one. Oh, I forgot to read it. Sunny Days Mall. Welcome to the ultimate shopping experience. Step into the heart of fashion, excitement, and endless possibilities. Introducing the Sunny Days Mall, your premier shopping destination. Sunny Days has the latest trends in fashion, state-of-the-art electronics, and a wide variety of culinary delights, all under one roof. Sunny Days, where every day is filled with sunshine and joy. Television commercial. Okay, this seems like a really fun one. So just go over some of the mechanics. Yeah, so we have our Savior. Let's put that right there, I guess. Yeah, so the Savior is an ally, but they have a trust meter, put this to the side a little bit, which indicates essentially like how much they're going to listen to you or how much they're just going to act on their own. Yeah, so we have 4 levels. I Believe You, where they can leave. You can use any action with them. I Guess You're Okay. You can use certain actions. They can't leave. Eat Me. You can only use the bottom actions. And Go to Hell, where basically you can't make them do anything. Yeah, so your goal is to protect them. There's a bunch of Savior cards, which looks like, yeah, there's a different action in these based on how high the trust level is. We have these new action cards to build trust. Cost 2 time. They have a triple success part. Yeah, hold that up. I probably should do that. Yeah, so increase trust by 1 or 2. Or if you fail, you just raise the terror level. Come with me if you want to live, is the quote on that one, because of course it is. Classic from the Terminator franchise. Yeah, so if you're at the I Believe in You stage, or sorry, backtrack a little bit. So, yeah, as I put here, the Savior is a young teenager upon whom the fate of the human race decides. It is your job to protect him, because if he dies, then you immediately lose the game. So, yeah, protect him. If you can get him to an exit space, and if you're at the maximum trust level, then they will exit. At which point, you immediately received all unclaimed victim rewards on your final girl card. Flip your card, your ultimate ability is unlocked. If it's already flipped, receive the additional victim saved reward 3 times. So yeah, saving the Savior is really powerful. But yeah, until they're saved, they are the target of the killer rather than you. That's kind of neat. And then just the location. This seems so much fun. So it's multi-leveled. And the 2 big things of note are, so we have railings here surrounding the food court. Yeah, you can jump over the railing, so you can go from there to there. In which case, roll a die. If it's a 5 or 6, then you land successfully. If it's a 1 or 4, receive 1 damage. Victims won't follow you when you jump because they're not crazy. Although it does look like that panicking can cause them to just jump over the railing. Yeah, if you deal damage, or if damage happens, so either to you or from you to the killer happens in a railing space, whoever took damage gets knocked over the railing and receives an additional 1 health damage. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And then the other things are the stores. So we have the Zap Shack, Joystick Heroes, Stan's Sporting Goods, Smoke and Subject, Boards and Bones, and Military Surplus R Us. And that's where these tokens come into play. So, yeah, when Yeah, so whenever anyone takes damage in a store, they will be knocked through an adjacent wall. So essentially, yeah, you can punch someone or hit them with a shotgun, for example, from boards and bones, and they will get knocked into the military surplus RS, because apparently the walls in this mall are just not up to spec. Very poorly designed. Yeah, receive an extra damage, and then you place one of these destroyed wall tokens, just wherever that would be. And at that point, yeah, that, like that. And at that point, it just becomes a regular space you can go through. So that is so cool. We have not had an environment like that before. Really looking forward to playing this one. Okay, so I think that's it for that. Let's put this stuff away. And I need to pick up the pace. Also, I'm not going to be able to finish this before I have a work meeting. That was outside of it. Oh no, this goes right here. Okay, there's enough room for the cards to go over that. It's always tricky when there's extra parts in there. So we get that. Go back in. There we go. Ally. Instructions. And that is it for the killer from tomorrow. Ooh, really looking forward to that one. Okay. Up next, we have Hell to Pay, starring Razor's Face and featuring the Hellscape. This is inspired by the Hellraiser movies. Misery loves company in the Hellscape. The denizens of hell are no stranger to pain and suffering, but you don't want any part of it. Razorface, a being of unspeakable evil, travels the shifting hellscape to deliver his love in the form of affliction and death. Manipulate the hellish maze so you can purge your afflictions and kill he who can't be killed before it is too late. Ooh, sounds nice and ominous. It's lurking in the background right over there. So yeah. No. We'll start with this side first. I always like starting with the killer. Yeah, so we have Razorface, 5 terror, or sorry, 5 horror. I keep calling it terror. Sorry, 5 horror, 9 health. We get an event over in there. You don't always see that. Epic finale, legendary suffering. That's fun. So here we have Razorface. Camera wants to focus. There we go. Some nice chains. He's holding a heart. Just a second. Okay, so yeah, and here's the back of him. Yeah, I look forward to trying to paint these once I get into painting more. And then we don't have any tokens with this one, but we do have a set of small affliction cards. And then 2 final girls in this set, Kenzie and Christy. Let's see. So Kenzie, 5 health, 5 victims required saving, ultimate. Once during each planning phase, you may take all copies of a single named action card from the tableau for the price of 1. Ooh, that's interesting. And for each additional victim save, lose 1 horror. And then we have Christy, 5 health, 4 victim saving. During the killer phase, draw 2 terror cards instead of the normal 1. Choose 1 to resolve and shuffle the other back into the deck. For each additional victim saved, move 1 space. That's an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about it just because of, like, when you get into the end game, when the terror deck is completely out, then this becomes useless. Yeah. Not sure how I feel about that one. All right. Brief pause while I look at the rules. Okay. This is a relatively simple one, I guess, is the fact that, yeah, we've gone back to just having a single sheet instead of booklet. Yeah, so the way Razor Phrase works is we have these affliction cards. There's 3 of them dealt face up, and yeah. Hellish afflictions can be physical, mental, spiritual, or otherwise. To be unbound from the influence and power of Razorface, you must purge all of your afflictions, usually 3, but you can gain more during the game, so that you can kill Razorface and escape with your life and soul intact. So yeah, let's just take a look at one of these as an example. Yeah, so here we have Torturous Embrace. Come, let us both taste your suffering. Purge requirement, you or Razorface has only 1 health remaining. So once that's met, you can purge this during the action phase. If you do purge it, then you have the purge effect, which on this particular one is discard an item card of your choice. If you do not have one, your turn just ends. So yeah, so while you still have affliction cards in play, then Razorface's final health token cannot be flipped. He just stays there with 1 health, and any damage that would happen is just ignored. That's interesting. And if you have an affliction that is impossible, for example, if there's something involving victims and there's no victims left, discard it, flip over another one instead. If you can't flip over another one, if you've gone through all of them, then the game ends. Interesting one. Put our 2 final girls back in here. Affliction cards, regular cards. Oh, I forgot to read this part. Razorface. Directed by Ryan Georgiorian, and director of photography was Roland McDonald. The practitioner will be caused and encouraged to call forth all great beasts of the pit, yet not this one, lest ye be consumed by great and unholy agonies. From the Librum Infernalis, Part 6, The Canticle of Dread Covenants. Let's put this in here also. I can't remember where I put all those for the first 2 series. And flip this over to the Hellscape, which I remember hearing about this one. This is interesting. So for minis, if I can open this up, we have the Bone Chariot. How awesome is that? I accidentally made the camera shake. Sorry. So yeah, it's this chariot pulled by 2 skeletal horses. Bone Chariot. It's so cool. God, even the chariot is like made of bones. That is awesome looking. Check that out. Oh, it's so cool. Sorry, I'm freaking out about the Bone Chariot. And then we also get 2 Hellscape dice, which look like they're D8s with special symbols on them. Oh, we got it. Oh, okay. So we got some tokens here. A little bit of cards. A new action called Hell Shift. Years of Rubik's Cubes. Then we have these tiles. So we'll look at the rules briefly and see what those tiles are about. Okay, so this is another fun location. Yeah, so the way this works is, so this is the basic map of the Hellscape, featuring fun rooms like the Nexus, the Sepulchre of Blood, and of course the House of Mutilation, because who doesn't want one of those? And then we have these 4 tiles. They're placed like that, and sometimes that leads to paths that just don't work. So for example, like, let's actually no, this, oh yeah, so this looks pretty well. So if you're right here, for example, you currently can't move here because there's not a path right there. And the Hellscape dice, beginning of each Yeah, so during the upkeep phase, roll 2 of these. If they match, then you flip over wherever that symbol is. If they don't match, then you start swapping tiles around. So yeah, the hellscape is just constantly changing. Sometimes that'll lead to like a killer not being able to go places. Like for example, yeah, like if we end up with a configuration like this, one of these configurations can cause much lament, as you might say. Yeah, anyone here, if the killer is right here, they literally cannot go anywhere because there's just broken paths in all 4 directions. So in which case they would just stay where they are. Same with victims. Victims can't panic like just into oblivion. And yeah, so those move around, or you can use the Hell Shift card. Years of Rubik's Cubes. So you can rearrange them, which is just flipping or swapping them. You can swap 2 tiles, or just do nothing if you fail. So yeah, the locations are really fun this time around, it seems like. I like that. Look forward to seeing how that plays out. And I don't know what these tokens mean. Because these must be just card specific. Except that one, which I know is the Bone Chariot. Which is the coolest vehicle ever. Oh, the other interesting thing of note. Yeah, so that with all of these, you place 1 victim on each of these spaces within these, and then the setup cards are just used for, yeah, remaining victims, final girl, and killer, but there's a lot of like static ones, I guess. Put those. So that's cool. Don't forget our Bone Chariot. Can't forget the Bone Chariot. It's also just really fun to say. Bone Chariot. Okay. Moving along. Now we have the Falconwood Files. And this one inspired by Stranger Things. Something strange is happening in Falconwood. Peculiar events, missing people, and kids on bikes. These are all things you'll find in the town of Falconwood. You and your friends will have to complete a mission to uncover what is really going on and discover the source of it all. Slayer, an interdimensional creature with a mind to destroy the town you know and love, is pulling helpless victims into the mirror dimension. Will you be able to save them and put an end to the horror before it is too late? Knowing the difficulty of this game, probably not, but it's been nice knowing you all. So, start with Slayer over here. 4 horror, 11 health. Ooh, tanky. Got our rules. We got this. We have 6 mirror dimension meeples. These are the size of the victim meeples, but they're silvery. We have tokens for, looks like, Final Girl and the 3 special victims. A new action card, Open a Rift. This really takes a lot out of me. And our final girls are... Oops. There we go. We have Janelle and Octavia. So Janelle, 5 health, 4 victim save. I like the bow. Okay, this is a complex one. Place a tracking marker on the 0 value. After resolving a failure roll on a horror roll or saving a victim, move the marker 1 space to the right. When resolving an action card that deals damage, you may increase damage dealt by the number on the space with the marker, and then return the marker to the 0 value. That's interesting. I only just noticed that the image, I didn't realize this on any cards before, but you have the image right here, and then by the time you get to their ultimate ability, they're looking a bit more beat up. Oh, that is a cool detail that I've never noticed before. And yeah, Octavia, 5 health, 4 victims, same thing. They're looking more beat up. Similarly, another tracking marker mechanic, but this time, instead of increasing damage you deal, you're decreasing damage that you receive. So yeah, so Janelle is more offensive, and Octavia is more defensive. And oops, then we're having a visitor. The Slayer. Whoa, that's a cool looking mini. That's a wild one. No one knows how the mirror dimension came into existence or how Slayer has been able to start opening rifts to suck people into its dimension. What we do know is that Slayer needs to be stopped, especially since it seems to have some kind of vendetta against you. Yeah, we also have... My cards are just spreading everything out over here, I guess. We have the Dimension Tracker, and then the Mirror Dimension Reference card. So let's briefly take a look at this. What do we have here? Oh, hi. Can I help you? Hi, Lily. You want to come sit in my lap? Or are you just going to stand there while I read these instructions? You're just going to sit there? Hello. Hi. Well, thank you. You like the head scratches, don't you? Okay, so yeah, I'm skimming through this just because I'm running out of time. Yeah, so the way this works is, yeah, so Slayer pulls victims into the mirror dimension, which you replace the yellow meeples with the gray ones. You have the dimension tracker to keep track of like where the final girl and the special meeples are. Hi. I'm holding this completely off screen, I realized. Oops. Yeah, so you keep track of that. If there are no more victims to be pulled into the mirror dimension, then Slayer just starts killing off or automatically killing off the ones that are there. Excuse me. You can enter the mirror dimension by you're sitting on cards by using the open a rift action. And you can return at any time, but if you are in the mirror dimension during the upkeep phase, lose a health. So yeah, I'll have to look more into that just when I have more time. I just know that if I don't start speeding up, I'm gonna run out of time for... Lily, are you sitting on some of the cards? Yeah, you are. I'm gonna run out of time to go through all of these. I need to learn to talk quicker. Sorry if I'm breezing through the rest of this. I do have work to get to. Unfortunately for the video, but fortunately for other things, because work provides the money I need to buy these board games. And also things like food in my house. But those aren't nearly as fun as board games. Although it is nice having a roof over my head. I just have to look. The roof is still there. Lily looking longingly outside at the snow. Should bring her outside at some point. She likes trying to catch snowflakes, as we discovered. Okay, that is that. I like all these colors. Now we have Falconwood. So let's see what we have. Ooh. Whoa, what the? What are these? Mission sheets. Okay, these are, I think these are where, excuse me, Lily, the replacement token things come into play. Not exactly sure how yet. What do we have in here? Our regular stuff. Yeah, we have these mission tokens. Don't know what's up with those. These things. For our vehicle, we have, looks like a pizza van. A little pizza mascot on top of that. And we also have a D20, so that's 2 of these games that have come with dice. Falconwood. At its peak, Falconwood had a population of 16,715. Forgot to say, director Mike Martins, director of photography Vincent Dufresne. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. At its peak, Falconwood had a population of 16,715. That was before the government lab went into operation. Since then, strange events have plagued the town. Mysterious deaths, disappearances, several families have left. Many who remained seem oblivious to what is going on, but not everyone. Some are adamant about exposing those behind the atrocities. Yeah, so we have some mission item cards in there somewhere. Let's briefly look through these. Oh, another single sheet one. Okay. Yeah, so on the board, I guess, that is, but the light is making that really hard to see. So yeah, regular board is not as complex as the other ones, but we do have bridges, which looks like requires a token to be placed, and river crossings. So the main thing about this one is these missions. So there's 5 of them, you choose one of them. In order to get the final health token flipped, the mission needs to be completed, similar to how the Razorface, you need to get rid of your afflictions.
You mean Taserface.
Ami is convinced that it is Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Let's see, yeah, all the missions have like ways to lose progress and gain progress. Just point to the other one. And yeah, I'm not going to look too much at these just because I don't want to give them away or spoil them, but there's that. And also, when you complete a mission, a friend will join you, because who doesn't like friends? Yeah, friends are special victims with the exceptions that they will follow you into the killer space, which is cool. They won't panic if they're in your space. And other victims are attacked before your friends are, which is good. I mean, I've always been worried about like the special victims, like the girlfriend at Camp Happy Trails, if they get attacked first. But yeah, so that is Falconwood. Interesting one. I'm very interested in seeing about how these mix and match with each other. So like the mirror dimension and the hellscape. It sounds like it will be interesting. Okay, keep the replacement tokens right there. Or that doesn't like fitting. Okay, I guess we won't put that right there. Just have to not lose that. Falconwood. Next, we have the Merrick Murders with the Tormentor and the Merrick Warehouse. Merrick Warehouse is closed for good. Put that over there. Traps unsuspecting victims and multiple murders. That's what happened on that fateful day at Merrick Warehouse. The state-of-the-art exit locks that were supposed to keep everyone safe held the victims inside, unable to escape. You hate it when that happens. The tormentor used devious and ingenious traps to teach her victims what they took too long to learn herself. Life must be cherished and valued at any cost. To live, to truly feel alive, sacrifices must be made. Yeah, so this is inspired by the Saw franchise. And yes, let's take a look at the Tormentor. Ooh, that is a very short Bloodlust track. Discard a random action card for a bunch of them. 3 horror, 7 health. Those seem very low. Yep, we got our trap cards.
No.
Yep. So we have, yeah, some of these are Final Girl trap cards, others are Victim Death trap cards. I'm very interested in seeing what happens if you put the Tormentor at the Carnival, which is a place that already has traps. It should be fun. And by fun, I mean, oh god, this is horrifying. Okay, so we have the Tormentor standing there with her power drill. That's cool. We got a bunch of tokens.
We've got rhythm.
Yeah, we have that too. Bunch of traps, locked doors, I'm guessing. Trap cards, where are the Final Girl cards? That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Yeah, we have Mandy and Cassie. Cassie, this is based on one of the people on the Vanrider Games Discord server. So yeah, so Mandy, 6 health, 5 victims. Add 2 damage to attacks made without a weapon or item. You cannot use this ability with reaction cards.
It's snowing out.
Yeah, I know. We should let Lily out later.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting. You can just punch people really strongly. And then with Cassie, you may spend 6 time to double the damage from your next attack. Sheesh. Including the damage from weapon modifiers. You cannot use this with reaction cards, or if it would take your time below 0. So if you stock up on time, you can hit really hard with her.
Like really hard?
Yeah.
Is it bad at making comments?
I don't know. Okay. So brief pause while I skim through the instructions on this.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so briefly skimming through this. The Tormentor. When we first discovered the scene, all that was left was gore and viscera. The intricate and devious nature of the trap was, well, none of us could believe it. So yeah, interesting things with this one. So, yeah, I'm just going to skim through stuff in the interest of time. Yeah, so we have your trap cards, for example, the Razor Maze. Yeah, I remember that trap in the first Saw movie. Yeah, so you have a series of things that you need to accomplish. So with this one, it's first move carefully, move 1 space. Then keep moving, move 2 spaces. Lastly, exit the maze, move 1 space. And then if the trap progresses, and if you get to the end, you die. That's it. Game over. When I said game over, I didn't actually intentionally make a Saw reference, but it works. Yeah, so there's those, and then there's the victim ones. Like the infestation box, which if those get to the end, the victim dies, and the fail result, you have a fail result that you have to do. There's no fail result with the Final Girl traps because if you get to those, that's just it. And the reason that seems extraordinarily low is until the finale, is flipped. The Tormentor is not on the board, which is definitely an interesting mechanic. I wish I could spend more time with these, but A, I don't want to spoil too much, and B, what was I gonna say? Oh, I just realized, yeah, specially designed one for these. All right. B, yeah, I'm just running out of time. I have a work meeting in, oh god, 17 minutes. Okay. Gotta go fast. Merrick, where? Whoa. Okay, that is a lot of different directions this thing goes in. I don't think I've ever seen a board with so many different paths. Well, yeah, Lily, you're making this a little bit hard. Yeah, so the supply cage, main entrance, manager's office, the pit. Panic uses 2 dice. Oh, yeah, because there's just so many ways you can go. Okay. Take a look at this. So we have that is a very long token. Just a, what is that, 2x4 or something? Blood? Bloody 2x4? Our vehicle is a forklift, which makes sense for a warehouse. Got these cards. We have a new action card, Climb. If I could just get up there. So move to an adjacent ladder space. May only be played when you're adjacent to that. And during the action phase, in order to do this, you have to discard Walk to take this, or discard Sprint to take this and Leap. What does that mean? Okay, let's skim through this. The Warwick Warehouse. Sorry, I almost just said it again. The Merrick Warehouse. Directed by A.J. Porfirio, and director of photography was Agnieszka Jabrowiecka. I'm so sorry about the pronunciations of that. The locking system in Merrick Warehouse is state-of-the-art and the first of its kind. Devised by our ingenious mechanical engineers, the system ensures precise shift changes and security. Loctracell Inc. spokesperson during the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Merrick Warehouse. Yeah, so there's locks on those 3 exit spaces. Thing called a click terror card. Oh, there's 2 different ones. So there's Climb or there's Leap. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So the discarding Walk to take this card, or you discard Sprint to take this card. So that's the price of it. Okay, so that's interesting. They have similar effects, except, yeah, this is you move to an adjacent. This you just move to if you're on one of those and you're going somewhere else. Hi, Lily. Locked exits. The warehouse has been locked by the killer. While it's locked, you can't use that exit. You need to find ways to unlock them, or wait for automatic timers, which are the click terror cards. Oh, rack spaces, not ladder spaces. Yeah, so rack spaces, the top. There's the top of the warehouse racks. Use cards to get there. And yeah, the pit used 2 dice in order to move because there's just so many. Interesting thing with this is that there's just so many paths you can take. So it's, as opposed to some of the other locations are more limited in terms of like where you can go, but not this one. You can just go anywhere with that. Okay. That seems neat. Put this away. Okay. Now on to the last one. Don't make a sound, which if I remember correctly is inspired by both Yeah, so we have the killer inspired by A Quiet Place, and then the location is inspired by Tremors. Everyone loves Utopia. The rural town of Utopia is home to just a handful of people and a whole lot of dirt and rocks. When the sand snakes burrowed to the surface to feed, there weren't a lot of targets to choose from. To make matters worse, the eyeless, an extraterrestrial being sent to clear the Earth of its inhabitants, just so happened to arrive at the same time. I hate it when that happens. With extrasensory hearing and lightning-quick agility, death will come quickly for anyone within earshot. So, let's take a look. The eyeless, 4 horror, 10 health. This is what the eyeless looks like. Yep. Oh, a lot of 4-legged killers. I'm gonna flip that over. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. So we have a noise track marker in here. We got some noise cards. And then our 2 final girls are Megan and Rhonda. Okay, Megan, 5 health, save 5 victims. When the killer moves into your space or you move into yours, you may recover health. If you are already at full health, take 1 or lose a horror instead. That's interesting. So this one makes me think that you want to, like, when you get to the end game, you want to just keep moving instead of just staying in the space with the killer and whacking away at them. And Rhonda, 6 health, 4 victims. When this power is revealed, gain time equal to the bloodlust level. Interesting. When bloodlust increases, you gain time. For each victim saved, you gain a health. That's another one that I don't really like that much, just because, yeah, when you get to the end game and all the victims are either saved or dead, then bloodlust isn't going to be increasing anymore. So then not much happens with that. That seems very limited use, but yeah, it is just save 4. Okay, let's look through this. Okay. Yeah, so the main mechanic with this one is the noise. So noise goes on the horror track along with the time. It'll determine, or yeah, it goes up whenever you resolve an action card. Not discarding, has to be resolving, so close call will count as that. Some of the horror, or some of the tarot cards have a number on the final girl icon. That's the same one that's in the, I hope I'm not spoiling too much just because this is the same card that was in the instruction thing as an example. So the final girl will be targeted in that case. They'll be targeted for that if the noise is high enough. So yeah, noise goes up with action cards played, and then if you use items, so there's 3 categories of items. So things that can be done silently, noise doesn't increase. So those are things like drinking water, looking at a map, playing first aid. Things that could be heard by others near you in the same space raises noise by 1. Things like melee attacks or pole vaulting. Or things that could be heard at a distance in other spaces. Those add 3 noise. Those are things like gunshots, a whistle, using a vehicle. So yeah, the louder you are, then the more likely it is for you to be targeted by the killer on certain cards, not all of them. For example, yeah, some of them there's no number, so in which case the noise doesn't affect them. Noise goes back to 0 at the end of the upkeep phase. So yeah, that's how this is. I look forward to doing a house rule when playing with the eyeless at the North Pole, because the instructions for that specifically say that the victims are elves, which are noisy. So yeah, that could be make for an interesting time. Not sure how to house rule it yet, but yeah, so that's how that is. Yeah. Let's put this away. I should take all these out and put them in the cast and crew box. That's what I should do. Let's do that later, I guess. And that is the eyeless. Oops, I forgot to put this back. There we go. Close that. Oh, I'm putting that on backwards. There we go. We'll save Utopia just for after. I'm going to briefly pause, which doesn't affect anyone watching this video, but it affects me. Yeah, pause, because work meeting. Okay, we're back after over an hour. Yeah, I had the meeting and then I did some work stuff. So yeah, let's take a look at Utopia. So we got interesting setup. It's almost like a switchback for a little bit. Utopia. So yeah, this is based on Tremors. Ooh, we got some big tokens.
My big tokens?
You tell me. And some little tokens. Yeah, so for minis, we have this bulldozer. That's the vehicle for this set. And then we have sandworms, or sorry, not sandworms, sand snakes. These were like well, they weren't a stretch goal. I think they were like an added bonus thing. And they're mostly just for fun because they don't actually like move around the board from what I remember. Yeah, we got 3 of those. Okay. We got a single sheet with this. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my phone was ringing, but it's not a number I'm used to, so we ignore it. Okay. So what do we have here? We have a regular tarot card. We have sand snake cards. That's new. Yeah. Yeah, brief pause while I look at the rules. Okay, so the way the sand snake cards work are, so you have your deck. At every turn, at the end of the killer phase, you will pick up 2 sand snake cards, and they're all very similar. It's a location. So for example, yeah, so all the locations that we have the bunker, the crossroads, scrapyard, water tower, general store, electrical tower, trailer park, old road, jeep train, sheep farm, and mountain pass. And so yeah, so you have 2 of those. Sand snake shows up at each of those locations and deals 1 damage to 1 victim, or 1 thing there. Targeting priority, victim. If there's no victim, then you. If there's no you, then a minion. No minion, killer. And I guess if no one's there, then it just pops up, looks around, and disappointedly disappears. And so yeah, these are really just for fun because yeah, they show up, they attack, and then they disappear. So they're not persistent on the board at all. Although I am curious why, if you're picking up 2 of them, how are these arranged? Oh god, I can't remember how the sand sinks work. Wait, that? I think that fit like that. We'll try that. But yeah, if you're picking up 2 cards, why is there 3 sand snakes? I don't know. And then, just so you don't run out of places, there's 1 card that says to just shuffle the deck again. The other thing are, so I thought these were sand snake tokens. No, these are sinkhole tokens. So sometimes terror or event cards will cause a sinkhole to open up, at which point you essentially can't use that space anymore. So yeah, no one can cross through the space. Anyone there, or any victims that are there, are instantly killed. You or enemies take 1 damage, and then anyone left alive panics to go to another space, and then you just can't use it anymore. The other thing of note here is these 3 spaces are marked with a boulder, and because of the rock formations, sand snakes cannot attack there. So that is Utopia. Not too complicated, but I do find it really interesting that the killer and the location are based on 2 very different movies, which I don't know if we've had that before. So that's cool. Put that back. Up next, we have the cast and crew box. Read case that I'm just fiddling with. Yeah, so this looks the same as cast and crew in series 1 and 2. But we got some different stuff. Yeah. So here's our different things. Yeah, but let's look at the vignette first. But yeah, the way this is, similarly, Final Girls goes here. Final Girl envelope cards, so the things you unlock by winning with each Final Girl, those go there. I like to do it that I often just put all the Final Girl cards here, and then the items, those go here as I do a win. Oh, I like that it says it says S3 right there, because I know there's been some confusion in the past about which cases go to which minis. But let's hold on. Sorry about that. Needed to break up catfighting because Harper doesn't listen when Lily starts hissing. What was I saying? Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, let's look at the vignette. The vignettes are always, it's a killer, but not a location. So this, normally they're a lot thinner. This is a thick one. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay. Now we'll open it. I like it when things have the little pull here to open thing. Okay, Terror from Destiny. You can kind of see a skull a little bit there. The 5 close friends should have died in a horrifying and bloody accident. Only because of a freakish premonition did they manage to avoid the accident and escape the Reaper's blade. But now they are dying one by one in increasingly bizarre accidents. And this has become clear that some power from beyond the grave, call it death, fate, or destiny, is taking the lives that were stolen from it. Can you solve the puzzle of who is fated to die next, and get to them in time before the long arm of destiny claims yet another victim? If you can't, then there's no hope that you will survive this terror from destiny. So let's open that up. Yeah, this thing's full. Okay. Open this up. Okay, we got some. What do we have here? So we have fated victim tokens and death tokens. I don't know which are which. Oh, I'm guessing the death tokens are the ones with the skulls on them. Arrow, and then we have these things. What are these? Setup grid rulers? Oh. Got some punishments. Consequence. That is a lot of terror. How many terror cards is that? 17 terror cards. Stacking the deck. Death Order. A lot of dark power, bloodlust track, and action. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at the final girl first. Gabrielle. 5 life, or 5 health, 4 rescues. Once per action phase, you may look at the top card of any deck or the dark power or finale card. That is very interesting. See the future. And then get time for each additional victim saved. Yeah, we'll just we'll move her to here automatically. And for these, yeah. So, brief pause while I look at the instructions. Okay, this is wild. I took out this just because they use this as an example when setting this up. The vignettes are always a little bit different, but this one is so different. Okay, yeah, so the way you set it up, you have your 2 bloodlust track cards over here. You would put a dark power here. There is no finale. You have these lines which are used to set, you roll 2 dice and they're used to set up where on here each of the fated victims goes with those. The round tokens are placed on the Death Order card. Pick one of them, there's 3. We have Death at 30,000 feet, Highway to Hell, and the Death Coaster. And yeah, these are inspired by Final Destinations 1, 2, and 3, respectively. God, the death sequence in Final Destination 2 is still just the all-time high for that franchise. And just, it'll make you afraid of ever being behind a logging truck on a highway. But yeah, if you have those, I'm just going to put that over there. Then you have a bunch of you have 5 consequence and punishment cards. I'm not going to lay them all out. You have your terror deck, which includes 5 fated death cards. You get some new action cards. I'll go over those later. And yeah, so circle tokens get placed on the Death Order card. You have all your fated victims, which we'll look at the minis after. And you go around, you want to save these victims, and the tricky thing is you need to save them in a specific order. So in terms of what order it is, that is the order dictated on the Death Order card. And you can do that, you can either just guess randomly and hope for the best, or you use this new Premonition card, which is useful for revealing some unknown stuff. Terror cards often have the Buffet of Existential Dread. That is a great title. They have these destiny symbols, which the consequence, those actually vary depending on what your Death Order card is. So, for example, this one says that when you get a destiny symbol, hold that up, you lose 2 time. We have discard a random action, and we have increase the horror level. There was a bird at the window, apparently.
There had been, and she wasn't going for it. She finally did, and it's, of course, when I looked away, I wasn't paying attention.
And then the other new action card is Thwart Destiny, which is, yeah, it allows you to ignore one of those symbols. So yeah, those go along. When a fated death card comes up, you either have, or if you can save the right victim, you get a specific reward. Different rewards on each of them. And if they're in limbo, which is where they go, like if they've died for other reasons, then you get the penalty for that, which typically seems to be like the opposite of it. Like for example here, sorry if I'm going a little bit more in depth with this one, but gain 4 time or lose 4 time. And then, so that goes until the very end of the game. When the last terror card is revealed, the game just ends. And then you have to go through these consequence cards, which are based on, I think, yeah, if you have cards with fated victims on it. I skimmed, so I'm not entirely sure how a fated victim is placed on these cards. But yeah, flip one of these cards. There's a condition. If it meets, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this just to avoid spoilers. There's a condition. If you meet the condition, good. If not, then you have a punishment card that you have to do. And that goes on, and if you can resolve all those, then you win. If not, then you lose. Yeah, this one seems wild. It's a really fun one. Definitely looking forward to playing this. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's a topical one, just because we have in a few months the new Final Destination movie, Final Destination Bloodlines. That's the first one that's coming out in quite some time. When was Final Destination 5? Was that like 2011? It's been a while. So yeah, that's a cool one. We have our consequences and punishments. Put these away. And yeah, this box is a lot thicker than the other ones, just because the other vignettes didn't have all these extra parts, like the consequences and these and death orders and all that. Dropped it. There's a lot to this one. It's really cool. I keep saying that. There's a lot of fun in these. Very fun game. I need to play more of it. Where are those pieces gonna go? I never know where to put the tokens for the vignettes. Is there room underneath the minis? Not really. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep the cardboard thing and just like kind of slot them back into that when I'm done. Just for space. So yeah, that is Terror from Destiny. Now, let's take a look at these minis. So we have the, let me put Utopia away first. I ended up not really showing much off with Utopia. Okay. Ow. Okay, so with the Fated Death minis, they're all archetypes. So for example, we have the Rebel. The interesting thing with these is that they're on square bases. Every other mini in the game has a round base. That's how you can tell them apart. We have the Jock, who is carrying some sort of sports ball. I don't know what made the other person a rebel exactly. I keep hitting the camera. What order was this in? There we go. We have the cheerleader. You can easily tell that one. They're the one with the pom-poms. We have the Goth. We don't have a Visigoth, though, so we can't recreate historical France. That was a poor joke. And my personal favorite, the Bookworm. Who doesn't like reading? This does not want to go back in. Okay. So those are the Fated Victim miniatures. Now let's take a look at all of the Final Girl miniatures. First, we have Kenzie, who... What are they holding? Some sort of like double-bladed knife? exactly know what that is. Let's show on the front box. Yeah, it's some sort of double-bladed knife thing. The camera does not want to focus well. There we go. It says SU right there. I think that's for Sunnyvale. I thought that was some sort of elemental symbol. It's like, oh yes, this person is the element Sumonium. I don't know what that would stand for. Next, we have Christy, who was carrying a stick. I can't tell what any of these weapons are. I don't know where Christy is on here. Tommy has a stick, apparently. Oh, is this a whip? Might be a whip. I don't know why I'm so bad at identifying weapons today. Okay, then we have Octavia, who is... That's a new one. They are casting some sort of elemental spell. Got some magic going on in here. And not just gathering it. And we have Megan, who has a... looks like a pipe bomb. No, this one has an H. Nice walking pose there. A lot of them are just standing, but she is just strolling forward. Okay. We have Gabrielle, who that's from, they're right here from the Destiny one. I guess they just punch people. There we go. I like the sweatshirt hanging around the waist. It's a cool look.
I like your face.
Oh, thanks. You too. I'm looking over here to see what the names are, even though the names were all on the bottom of each of the minis. No, that's not going to focus. Come on. Please focus. There we go. Next we have Janelle with a slingshot. That's kind of cool. Everyone's favorite, Cassie. We have Tali, who I think that's a grenade. I work grenades. It's hardcore. Another more action-y pose instead of just standing there. Maybe this will be the inspiration I need to finally get into painting stuff. Though I wouldn't mind if my hand stopped shaking first. Yeah, gotta see that on the camera. We have Cat.
Yeah?
With guns. We have Mandy, who comes with a chainsaw. I wonder if that's a reference to the movie Mandy. Chainsaws in that movie. One with an axe called the Beast. And finally, we have Rhonda. Another running one. There's a lot of more action-y poses this season. Rhonda, who is running into battle with a pickaxe. And that is it for the cast and crew box. That slides around a lot more in there than I remember. Easily misremembering. There we go. Cast and crew. Next, we have the bonus features. What?
What?
Yeah. Featuring Razorface. This one's always heavy. Not quite. Yeah, so we have the rule book. So this is all of the rules for the different feature films. Yep. And yeah, get some cool artwork in there. Then they also have the achievements. For example, in Sunny Days Mall, win a game at Sunny Days Mall. Win a game without using the Build Trust action card. Oh, that's tricky. Place all destroyed wall tokens. Witness the killer lose its final health from falling off the railing. That's fun. Use the chopper to deliver the killing blow. Win a game with the savior still on the board. It's probably a good one to do with the don't use Build Trust. Win a game without the savior taking any damage. That's probably a bad one to do with the don't Build Trust. Witness Bart the Mall Cop deliver the killing blow to the killer. Witness at least 4 victims panic off the railing on the same turn. Use both boomsticks to deal at least 8 damage to the killer in a single attack. Oof. That's fun. And then for the hunter, I'm just going to read through just these two. Yeah, hunter, defeat the hunter at the mall. 5 locations, those are pretty standard. Defeat the hunter in extreme horror mode. Use the Mark 5 to deliver the killing blow to the hunter Mark X. Mark 10. Why do I keep just using 5 and X? Defeat the hunter Mark 10 without the Mark 5 being repaired. Defeat the Mark 10 without the Mark 5 taking any damage after it has been repaired. Destroy at least 3 cybernetic parts in the same turn, so that requires doing 6 damage. Repair the Mark 5 to at least 10 health. And repair the Mark 5 and have it damage the Mark 10 on the same turn. So yeah. That's always fun. Then we have the lore and scenarios, which these are always cool also. Oh, breaking out the harsh language. Don't look at that page. Yeah, so we got some backstory on each of the killers. You get some scenarios, whereas those are, it tells you specifically what to use for the setup. So yeah, a little backstory. What final girl setup, items, specific cards to make the terror deck out of, and some special rules, and you try to beat it that way. And then, yeah, so the way it works, you get one. So for each killer, there is a scenario. Hello. There's a scenario at each location. Yeah, and then it moves on to the next. Hi, Ami. The other chopping mall for Tormentor at Sunny Days Mall. That's cool. Yeah, these are often really tricky because they are. Yeah, that's the best expression you can have. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. I haven't done too many. I've done some of the season 1 ones. I need to do more of those. If you use the app, you can get as an add-on, essentially like everything in here. So you get like the gruesome deaths, the lore and scenario book, and then something else that I forgot. Just integrated into the app, which is really easy. And then just would recommend. And finally, we have the things of all the different final girls, some tips for playing with them. And yeah. By the time you get to this point in the credits, you're probably looking for us to confirm if there will be a Series 4. All we have to say is, the door is open and the possibilities are endless. All that is needed is the courage to step through. And of course, by the time I got this, Series 4 has indeed been announced. Might do a little video talking on that at some point, because they announced some really cool stuff, and they're... drop my read case. They're changing how they do it in terms of like the release model, where they're going to release each film at retail first, and then the Kickstarter for like all the bonus stuff, like the storage box and the vignette and the last final film, things like that. So yeah, and then you have the gruesome death books, which are done like, yeah, there's one book for each location, and with these you have all these specific deaths for if you are facing, like for example, if you are facing Razorface at the mall and someone dies from it hits like a freight train card. And yeah, you get a bunch of different ones, some general kills for other non-specific situations. Some specific kills for death traps. That's what I thought it did. Yes, everyone's favorite, the reverse bear trap. A classic from the Saw movies. Destiny Terror. Yeah. Not necessary at all, but some cool stuff to have. And yeah, there's one of those for each location. And that is it for that. It's not closing. Gotta put them in wrong somehow. It's just really stuffed. There's a lot of material in this game. And then finally, we have the special effects crate. So this is the long crate. For the first two series, it was a matte crate. You got one series of matte crate. You got one series of mats for Series 1, one for Series 2. This is the Series 2 one. I like it better just because the layout is better. It's like you have some space over here for additional cards for special films, just because some of them have additional ones. Like I know there's Sacred Groves has the 2 tracks for, I'm forgetting what it's called. It's been a little while since I played that one. And then the Into the Void has a ton of different setup cards for different things. But yeah. So let's look at the special effects crate. So we have 3 different things in here. Or more than 3, actually. So we have accessories, guest stars, and guest stars miniatures. Just go from left to right. So, oh good, I didn't put the scissors away. They're still over here. Open up the accessory box. So, some cool things. Okay. So, we have, let's open this up first. We have a supplemental game mat. So yeah, this goes on the side of the board. This has room for so some dice, tokens. I'm so glad there's a token space here. There was one of those in Season 1 or Series 1, but not Series 2, and I missed that space. It was so useful. Some extra cards for special feature films, your hand, and you can keep track of the phases. So I'm gonna make this a permanent addition to our setup over here, which means moving these over a little bit. A little more. It's getting cut off a little bit. I need to make this a little bit more camera friendly, but yeah, my table is just big enough for this. If I make any more mats for Series 4, I'm gonna run out of room. this over. And there you go. It is not, it's a little bit shorter than both of these put together. Doesn't entirely line up right there, but in general, that's really cool. I like it. And we have a dice tray. Yeah, so it's like that. It says Final Girl on it. I've never actually used a dice tray before. We don't have any other ones. So we'll see how that goes. This dice tray here. Ta-da. We did it. And then the other big thing with this one is the tier dice. This game can generate a lot of tiers, and now you get to use them for your advantage. Some nice dice that way. Go figure, my example roll didn't get any tiers. They're getting drowned out a little bit by the light, but if I move them over here, now you can't see well. Got a bunch of 3s and 4s for converting, and then 6. We got a success. And then 1 and 2, which are normally just not success, are tiers. A tier dice rule sheet. And we got our tier board over here. Side A and side B. What are the differences? Let's read. Tier dice rule sheet. I keep wanting to call it tear dice. It is well known in Final Girl lore that our inspiration and creativity is fueled by the tears of the players. As you might imagine, our engine is overflowing. As such, we've created a means of letting you put your own tears to good use. Decide before the game if you want to use the tier dice. If you do, replace the normal red Final Girl dice with the blue tier dice. It is a nice shade of blue. Oh, you can see it better if I hold it like that. Yeah. So that's what the new tier shape looks like. They are similar in form and function, but instead of blanks on 1 and 2, they have a teardrop icon. Choose which side of the tier board you'd like to use and place it on the table with the 5 tier markers nearby in a general supply. Yeah. So collecting tiers. Each time you resolve a failure final result during a horror roll, you may take 1 tier marker for each tier icon showing on the dice. Place the collected tiers in the indicated space on the tier board. You don't collect them if you succeeded at all, and you don't collect them if it's already full. You may spend the tiers you collected at any time for the effects shown on the board. The stronger the effect, the more tiers it costs. Put tiers back into the general supply. You may spend tiers to purchase the same effect multiple times if you wish. So if you want, on this side it has 1 is gain a time, so you could just spend 5 to gain 5 time at once. See if we can get this to focus. There we go. So this is side A. And then we have side B. Let's see, side A, tier effects are gain 1 time, reroll 1 die, decrease horror by 1, reroll any or all dice for 5 tiers, plus 2 dice for horror rolls for the rest of the turn. That's a strong one. Then on side B, we have gain a time, move a space, conversion things are successes. I think there's a card for that. Or is that just in Hostage Negotiator? I can't remember. 4 tiers is roll 6 dice, and 5 is reveal your ultimate ability. That is strong. Although you do if you do that, you do ignore any of the save bonuses you get from saving people. And then we have some alternate rules / variants. Feel free to use any of the variants below if you want to make things even easier. I like that image. Yeah, post in the comments if you know what movie that is a reference to and what final film that comes from. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So, I'm a big baby. You can collect a tier every time you roll the icon, even on successful horror rolls. It's not fair. You can collect unlimited tiers. Use the tier markers as trackers on the tier board to track how many tiers that marker is worth. For example, if a tier marker is on the 3rd space, you have 3 tiers. When the tier marker reaches the 5th space and you would collect a 6th, place a 2nd one on the 1st space. Okay. But I want both. Wah! During the upkeep phase, you may spend 1 tier to flip the tier board to the other side. So, those are tiers. Put all that back. Except for the mat. We're keeping that as it was. Where did the bag for the mat go? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so put this stuff back. We'll put the dice mat back for now. I'll take it out later when we actually use it. And then put the tier dice. I know some people... Oh, even says here. Concludes some nice but optional additions. The dice tray guarantees your rolls will be successful. Just kidding, but at least you have a nice tidy place to roll the dice. Nice. And then supplemental game mat can be used with or without the mats from series 1 or 2. Just place it to the left. And yeah, I know some people have reorganized like core boxes so that like all the different dice, like the ultimate dice from Series 2, are in just the main box. You may or may not do that. Yeah, because now we have stuff split between core box, box of props, and... Yeah, I don't like that a bit. Yeah, core box, box of props, and accessory box. I'm just not working. Supposed to go sideways? What am I doing wrong? There we go. I'm struggling to put stuff back in a box. Alright. So, that's that. Next, guest stars. I was about to say, there's fun stuff in this one, but there's been fun stuff in everything. We get all the fun with this series. Come on, there we go. Wait, why is it upside down? Guest Stars Rulebook. So, we got some extra cool stuff this time around. So what do we got? We have vehicle cards. So vehicle action cards, because there are what the heck? What's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, so we have vehicle action cards to use with the Terror from the Grave vignette, because all the vehicles have different rules there. We have some event cards. You can use these as proxies for if you use the Make Your Own Event thing on the Hammerwriter Games website, then you can use those as proxies, so you don't have to make sure that you're printing it exactly the same. And that is the same, and there's... so there's one for each of the locations. And then same with item cards. And then we have envelopes for all of the promo characters, because they didn't have those previously. So promos and vignette characters. And we get two new, or sorry, not two new. apparently can't count. 5 new signature action cards. So we have Kick, Prescience, Prescience? Not sure how you pronounce that word. Will to Live, Bribe, and Combo. Interesting. And we got some new promo cards. Layla and Agnes are not exactly sure why we get duplicates. Yeah, it says these are duplicates from the box of props, and included here is convenience. Feel free to give them to a friend if you already have them. Then we also have Santa Hat Paula, which is exactly the same as regular Paula. I think, yeah, this is supposed to be Paula Deming, I think her last name is pronounced. Yeah, but now she's wearing a Santa hat. And the brand new one is Jamie from Foster the Meeple, who is now joined up with the Rider Games. 5 health, 5 victims. 2-star Queen. When the final result of any horror roll is 2 stars, deal 1 damage to 1 enemy of your choice. Does not have to be in your space. Wow. Partial successes converted to a success do not count for triggering this effect. That's kind of cool. So we have those. Vehicle action and these two were in one of these wrappers. And these were in the other. Come on, go back in. We're almost done. So we got those. Vehicle rule sheet. And then the super cool thing is, this is the first time. So we've had the final films, which have a killer, a location, and a final girl. Why did this get turned at such an angle? What did I do? I'll play around with the camera at some point. Then we have vignettes, which are Final Girl and Killer. And now we have character packs, where it's just a final... Where it's, yeah, so character packs come with their own rules and contents. It's a Final Girl and like I think sometimes a unique situation. And in this case, I don't know if they're all going to be this way if they do these again, but these are kind of returning. They're like side characters that have returned for another go-around. So we have Grandma's Grudge with the grandma from Little Red Riding Hood, or in this case, the Once Upon a Full Moon. Get back in bed, Grams. I'll handle this, Red yelled as she exited and closed the cottage door. Grandma harumphed. Oh, child, she said out loud, even though Red was gone. I'm not the helpless old woman everyone thinks I am. Grandma shuffled around the cottage for a few minutes, gathering knickknacks and baubles which might be useful. Screams echoed from the woods outside. I'm coming, dearies, she said as she opened the cottage door, large carpet bag in hand. Now where is that little pup? She asked herself, tightening her grip on the bag. This character pack contains the Grandma Final Girl card, Grandma action cards, and more. Having just survived the Big Bad Wolf's ploy, Grandma's got a grudge to settle. And I remember back during the Kickstarter campaign, there was the Do It for Grandma rallying cry. There's more money. And I'm so excited for this one. Carolyn's Revenge. Carolyn slowly approaches the front door. Her breathing is even and measured. Her eyes begin to glow a light blue as the power within her manifests itself physically. Carolyn stops to take in the creepy exterior of the place she once called home. It's time, a childlike voice squeaked. She looked down at Mr. Floppy and nodded in response to what was really her own thought, but one she attributed to the stuffed rabbit. Carolyn walked forward, psychically unlocked and threw open the front doors with a simple thought, and then raised her voice and boomed, Helen, I'm home! This character contains the Teenage Carolyn Final Girl card, psychic action cards, and more. Now a teenager in control of her psychic abilities, Carolyn has returned to Creech Manor for revenge. So yeah, going back after the poltergeist, Carolyn is no longer a helpless girl who has to be saved. She is taking matters into her own hands. Gonna get some revenge. So excited for both of those. Some good stuff going on. And one more box. And then we're done. This video that, like most videos I make, has got, I don't know, that's why it was upside down. It's just easier to close that way. Like most videos I do, it has gotten completely out of hand. Oh, it's hard to do even with that. I'm just suck at closing boxes. Come on. Why won't you close? Okay, one more try and then I'll give up and do this off screen. What am I doing wrong? Why is that not closing? Did I make this too stuffed somehow? There's nothing extra in here. I did that. Oh, should fit. Wait, maybe I do this. Not how it was, but it fits better. Okay. There we go, I think. If you put the two character packs opposite each other, and I forgot to put this backwards. If you put the two character packs facing the opposite way, that just slides out. Come on, why are you not fitting? Why don't you like me? No, heck. Oh, wait, am I doing it sideways? Ah, yes, that was the problem. I was trying to do it sideways. This box is not a square, it is slightly rectangular. That's a little embarrassing. And finally, guest stars miniatures. God, this video is like the size of series 1 and 2 together. What did I do differently in that one? Okay. We got some minis. So, I think, so for these, the final girl cards for each of those, each of these characters is intended to go here, and then the envelopes go there. So I guess take those out of the guest stars box. Let's take a look at some minis. We have Grandma, who is armed with a gigantic bag. I think in the pack it's a rug bag, but I cannot help but see this as like a giant. If you hold it like this, it looks like she's wielding some sort of giant hammer, which I kind of like. She's found Mjolnir and has been deemed worthy. We have Agnes.
Agnes?
Yeah, more than one Agnes. With her gun. We got Paula, who is armed with 2 dice that have been made into something like a flail. 2 spiked dice. I don't know if that's what she uses in real life. Maybe. We have Carolyn, who still has Mr. Floppy, but has her arm outstretched to do psychic blasts. That is such a cool evolution of that game. We have Layla, who has a sickle. And then finally, we have Jamie, who I think is wielding a hockey stick? And once again, yeah, you can kind of see she has that sweatshirt around the waist look that I said I liked with that other character. And then there's a gap here because I like how it says rules sheet, even though there aren't any actual rules for here. Just says, by popular demand and thanks to the Series 3 Kickstarter backers, we've decided to make miniatures of the promo Final Girls. So yeah, there is a gap here. Because can you really fit 2 minis in that? Maybe. Yeah, there's a gap because Julie and Constance they're not included because they are crossovers with another game called the Dark Quarter, and their miniatures are included in that game. So there's that. So let's put this away. Make sure we're doing it the right way this time. There we go, that fits. I don't like putting it backwards. I'm putting it forwards, that the minis aren't just like shoved up against stuff. Is that what I did here, or did I put it backwards? I put it backwards. Don't like that. Switching it to this way. And that is that. So let's put this back away. This Stars thing is falling out. So I guess I put that on the wrong side. There we go. That goes there. Those fit all snugly. And the special effects crate, which is bolted shut and locked. And that goes at the top right here. And then in this empty space here, we can either put our foam back. That's not exciting. We're going to put special feature. So now we have a home for the North Pole Nightmare. And there you have it. Final Girl Series 3. Very excited to get started playing this. Why is this box not fitting? There we go. It's just a tight fit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this ridiculously long video. And yeah, until next time, play well.